Okay, we're going to put the impeller pump back on the SeaDoo. We've already replaced the boot for the drive shaft. Make sure that both of your rubber stops are in your drive shaft where you put your impeller pump back on. I had to replace this drive shaft. The other drive shaft was bent. Before we put the impeller pump on, make sure that your spacers are on here. You got 4 of them, 1 on each one. Okay, before we put the impeller pump back on, we have to put this impeller boot on there. We'll put it on the end of the impeller. I purchased this. It showed it in the diagram. I have no idea what it does, where it goes. It shows that it goes behind this boot right here, but there's no way that it can actually go in there, and it actually slips over the drive shaft. I mean, actually, I cannot figure it out, so I'm going to leave it off. Okay, what we're going to do, we're going to make sure our rubber stop is on our drive shaft. We're going to take and put this little impeller boot on the drive shaft, like so. We want to make sure that our rubber O-rings are in here before we put it up in there. Also, I'm going to install my neoprene ring to go around this area here. Just peel the backing off and stick it right up in here, like so. Okay, the impeller pump's on. Now we'll check the drive shaft to make sure the drive shaft is hooked into the impeller, and we will put the nuts on there. I'm going to reach in here with a screwdriver and I'm going to turn the impeller to make sure it's in the drive shaft. Okay, the impeller pump is all bolted on, as you can see. Okay, now we'll hook this up. I guess it's part of the steering. Okay, before you put this on, make sure you put your O-rings back on here. I have new ones, so I'm going to install new O-rings before I put this one on. This is the old O-ring. It's kind of flat. This is a new one. You probably have to put grease on the back of these O-rings to put them on the back of the impeller drive unit to keep them from falling off as you're installing it. Okay, so here where I put grease, and I just stuck my O-rings on there. They should stay until I at least get it mounted up. If you're doing this by yourself, you need to hold it up on here, and you need to start your bolts. You need to make sure that your linkages is forward when going in, or else you'll have to take it right back off, or take your linkage completely off, turn it around. And like I said, if you're by yourself, you're going to have to hold this on there because of your O-rings and try and get the bolts tightened up snug to it to keep the O-rings from hopefully not falling out. I mean, you got grease on them. That's just a precaution to keep them on there, but it's best to just go ahead and hold it until you get it tightened down or snug down. Okay, that's hooked up. Now I'll hook up this linkage and this linkage. Okay, it's on there, it's done. Now all I need to do is take it to the river and see how it works. Okay, just got back from the river, and I'm glad to say that the impeller works great. This thing ran really good.